Welcome to the Omnia Sol Art Show, the glitch art video podcast hosted by Omnia Sol. Episode 16. It is episode 16. Changing channels. Changing channels. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Omnia Sol Art Show, also known as TOSAS. I, of course, am your hostess with the mostess, Omnia Sol. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful morning, evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching. Thank you for joining me. It has been a while since we have been together in the land of the internet, which I will let you know there's a number of reasons. I don't like making excuses for not putting out an episode weekly. My goal is always to go for a weekly episode, but I had so much going on in my life, and but we're back. We are back. So little things that happened over the last episode that came out was roughly a little over 2 weeks ago, and since then, I used to live with two people. One of my roommates has moved out, and not going to go into the details, but it's a good move. And so the other roommate, we're on great terms. Probably going to be staying here at least another year. I love the neighborhood. The rent isn't too bad. I love this place. But anyways, I took the smallest room in the apartment that the old roommate who moved out lived in, and with the help of my current roommate, converted that into an artist studio. Because before, everything was just crammed into my bedroom. So I had my workspace and my sleep space in the same space, which is not good feng shui, folks. It's not good, because then you're always tired and you just want to get in bed and go to sleep and you can't focus, or you're super focused at your desk and then it's time to wind down and go to sleep and you don't have a dedicated place to sleep. But we completely converted this room into a beautiful office/studio where I'm able to work on the show, work on whatever art projects I need to, and say in the future, if we have another pandemic, or if this pandemic continues, or if I eventually find something better than retail that pays, I have an office from which I can work from home. So I'm very excited. That before, this room was, the walls were painted white. It was so fucking dirty and disgusting. There were like so many nail holes in the walls. It was just unbearable. But we patched that all up, cleaned the room completely out, saged we didn't use sage. I forget what incense we used, but just like cleansed the fuck out of this room, got all the bad fucking vibes out of here, and painted the walls. I wanted to go with like a peach color. I wanted something bright and motivating. We ended up going with it's an orangish peach cover, and that color, and then went with a pink ceiling, a light pink ceiling, and these teal curtains. And this room is on the east side of the house. Let's see. Yeah. Never eat soggy waffles. Yes, east side of the house where the sun rises. And so it's beautiful because the sun rises in here, and then the colors I went with kind of a sunrise theme. So I'm calling it the Sunrise Studio. So we are broadcasting from the Sunrise Studio. We've got a great show for you tonight. Visually, I don't know if it's the best show I've ever made, but conceptually, I think it's up there. I think it's really good. And we're going to go ahead and go into our first segment, which of course is What am I glitching tonight? So tonight we are glitching something that has never been glitched on the show before. We are glitching a TV antenna. And the thing about this as I said on the last show, which I think is just the motto of the show in general, is that the footage used in this show is used for, what did I say last time? Educational, review and artistic transformational purposes only. So the educational aspect that I want to get in, which I think is very interesting. So these old CRTVs that I am using used to be you just got the TV from the antenna and you could get a bunch of channels and you could access a bunch of channels. Now, the way everything is set up, starting from June 13th, 2009, everything switched to digital. So if you have an old CRTV and you want to watch the basic channels that come with the TV, you actually have to buy an antenna and a converter box that plugs into the aux cord, the red, yellow, and white, or just yellow and white, depending on what your TV has. And that's how you can watch TV. And it's interesting, too, when you move the digital antenna around, you do get some digital glitches that I tried to embrace with this, but it ended up just knocking out the signal a few times. So not exactly the aesthetic I wanted to go for, but for this episode, we are not only turning the knobs and flipping the switches on both my circuit bender, Sophie, and Charlie. We are also, since it takes AV cords anyways, we are running the AV cords through the circuit bender into the TV, filming the TV, but also using the remote to flip through the channel. So you get to join me in watching some television, which is pretty fun. This has never been done before on this show. So we get to glitch some commercials. You know, we have done VHS, we've done DVDs, we've done digital footage that I've filmed myself, but we have never done live television. Well, it's not live since it's recorded now, but we've never done live television before. So you get to see a little glimpse into Chicago television, public television for all who can afford an antenna or a TV that gets the reception. So conceptually, what I was kind of thinking about when coming up with the idea of the episode, obviously I just wanted to experiment just in general of what it would look like to glitch live television. But I also conceptually want to talk about how it goes into the fact that I've had so much trouble keeping a weekly show. You know, I do this show for free. I do ask if you can support me on Patreon to support me on Patreon. But there's some big changes coming in good ways. So I do want to keep up a weekly show, and I've struggled with that so much. But the changes I'm going to do is that if I can't book a musical artist, or if the artist I want to book it takes a while to get back to me, I am just going to go ahead. I'm still going to put out an episode once per week, or if I do once every 2 weeks, like this episode and the episode previous, what I want to do is, I lost my train of thought. What I want to do is still put out content. If I can't put out once a week, I'll try to do a bonus episode. But instead of striving for these 45 minutes to hour-long episodes, if I can't book a musician, I'm just going to run through the segments, do what I can. I promise you there will never be an episode shorter than 30 minutes, but sometimes we're going to change the channel on the show. Sometimes there's going to be an episode that is 30 minutes, 35 minutes. We do have a musician for this week's episode, but just in the future. And then in the future there might be 30-minute episodes, but I do want to get back into doing an episode once a week. Now that I have the studio, I think that's a lot more feasible, especially because the footage I filmed today was during the day. Because in the past, every time and there might be a little reflection, I can't tell. Yeah, I'm watching the footage now. But in the past, I've had to do it at night because I have nothing to block out the sun. I have a tapestry over the window in my bedroom, but it's not enough to block out the sun, and there's always glare. So I had to film at night, but I was always so tired at night. It was always so difficult to get the filming done. But with these curtains in the Sunrise Studio, I can finally, like Mr. Burns, block out the sun, and I can film without glare, which I think is just going to make me way more productive. And I'm very excited to bring you more episodes of the show, of the Omnia Sol art show. Conceptually, the other thing I wanted to bring up with this idea of changing channels, I've made all these changes in my life of setting up this studio, of starting the show in general, starting like last November. What channels do you need to change in your life so that your antenna can pick up the right frequency? So that's my little, if you're watching on a Monday, that's my little Monday motivation. Sometimes you need to change the channel. Sometimes you need to Marie Kondo the fuck out of your life and get rid of stuff that is not sparking joy. So what can you do to make a better life for yourself? Make a life that sparks joy by changing the channel. Maybe that's changing bad habits. Maybe that's moving out of a shitty living situation. Maybe that's getting a shitty roommate, to telling a shitty roommate they need to move out. Maybe that's cleaning out a room that is dirty and disgusting and putting in an art studio and staying motivated. That's your Monday motivation for the Changing Channels episode. So as far as the review portion of this show goes, I'm not going to rate every single channel we glitched because that would be absurd, but I will rate the antenna. It's a very good antenna. It does the job that I need it to do. It's kind of cool that it goes through the AV cords and allows me to glitch it. So I'm going to go ahead and rate this antenna 5 out of 5 antennas. That is the highest rating. That's as high as the scale goes, is 5 out of 5. If there's a slight scratching noise in the background, that is because my cat, the king of the castle, Prometheus, is in a box, in his favorite box, and he's scratching around and he's having a good time. But anyways, that's my review of this antenna, 5 out of 5 antennas. And that was our first segment of the show. What am I glitching tonight? All right, so we are going to go ahead and move on to our second segment of the show, which, of course, is a fan favorite of the show. People love it. People don't get enough of this segment. People tell me all the time, hey, I didn't see your episode last week. I was really wondering what you were drinking, and I don't know what you were drinking because you didn't have the fucking show. You're late on the fucking show. What's the deal? And I tell them I'm sorry. But today, you get to know what I'm drinking because it is time for What am I drinking tonight? So tonight we are drinking another wonderful tea from Leslie at Moon Temple Tarot. This batch is called Demon Slayer, and it is black tea, brittle pieces, caramel bits, chocolate bits, sweetened macaroon coconut, sea salt, and yerba mate, natural and artificial flavors. And I feel like it's a perfect tea for this episode because we're slaying our demons. We're changing the channel on our demons. So let's give it a try. Oh, that is so good. That is so good. Holy shit. Oh, man. I love yerba mate. And but this is like, it's not the yerba mate is not the overpowering element. It just works with everything else, like the subtle caramel and chocolate just brings everything together. Frequent listeners on the show know that I frequently enjoy a milk tea. I enjoy putting a little sugar in the raw and a little almond milk, maybe some soy milk if that's what you have, but I did not tamper with this tea at all. It is just tea in an infuser and hot water, ready to go, and it is delicious. It is the perfect tea for this tea time with you on the Omnia Sol Art Show. So shout out to Leslie, another great tea. 5 out of 5 tea pots for this cup of tea. This is so good. And then just to stay hydrated, I am also, as a backup drink for what am I drinking tonight, I am drinking a blueberry pomegranate sparkling water, which is very good. Really good. Definitely recommend this flavor. Not gonna endorse the brand name because I had to pay for this water. I did not get this water for free, and it's not sponsored. The tea's not sponsored either, but the tea was sent to me as a gift, so obviously I'm gonna plug it on the show. It's great tea. All right, that has been What am I drinking tonight? So our featured musician of the week goes by the name of Nikki. You can find her work at Nikki, spelled with 3 Y's at the end, .bandcamp.com. They just released this album last week. I think it was like Friday or something. But it's Prom 2K13 by Nikki. So we're going to go ahead and play the first song. Not the first song on the album, but the first song of the show tonight. This song is titled, I think it's Hands Up in the Sky, but the actual title is just the hands up emoji. So just imagine when you're listening to this song, just imagine the title as the hands up emoji, and in your head, visualize the hands up emoji, and you will know the title of this song. But yeah, you can find it at nikki.bandcamp.com. Of course, as always, will be in the show notes. And also, Nikki is another featured artist from Side Street TV. And I think, actually, before I play the song, this might be a fun way to segue into that. So the Omnia Sol Art Show is obviously on YouTube. It is also on, the YouTube is on my website, and omniasol.art. And we are syndicated by Locus Review. So there's multiple ways to find the show and get your friends interested in the show. A new way to watch the show, Side Street TV, is a local art gallery that started a glitch art video channel, and I submitted to it and talked to them. And what ended up happening was I submitted one video, but then they were interested. They checked out the show and were really interested in it. And so they're like, hey, do you want the show to be on Side Street TV? So I said yes. So now, if you subscribe for $5 a month to Side Street TV, not only do you get access to the Omnia Sol Art Show, which is on Vimeo instead of YouTube. So the quality is just through the fucking roof, because no matter what I do, YouTube always finds a way to just like really fuck with my quality. Like, you have to like go into the settings and make it high definition. And even when you do that, it's not the best. But Vimeo, as soon as I pull it up and hit the press play on Vimeo, I was like, damn, this shit looks gorgeous. Holy crap. So the website is, let me find it. Okay, so if you go to TV, and the link will be in the show notes, but tv.sidestreetstudioarts.org, you can access, and if you subscribe for $5 a month, not only can you access the Omnia Sol Art Show, which of course is like free for everyone, but there's so much cool glitch art. If you like my art, if you like what I'm doing, you want to support more glitch artists in the Chicago area, I can't think of a better way to do it than to become a subscriber to Side Street TV and support some awesome glitch art, see some cool shit you've never seen before, including videos from our featured musician, Nikki, has their video Hot Dog up there. I'm sure we'll have more. Sure we'll have more. So check it out, Side Street. Check out Nikki. We will be back with you after the song. The song was the throw your hands up in the sky emoji. The artist was Nikki. Nikki.bandcamp.com, spelled with 3 Y's at the end. Show notes. Check it out. Click the link. Buy the album. Support Nikki. Support Chicago glitch artists. Make our dreams come true. Thank you to Nikki for providing the awesome music. We got another song a little bit later in the show, but for now, we are going to go ahead and move into the next segment of the show. It is the part of the show where I read your fortune. It is time for
Card of the Show.
All right, so the card of the show, the way it works is I shuffle a deck of tarot cards 3 times, and I see what card I pull, and I usually have the listener think of whatever question you're thinking of, and whatever card I draw, that is the answer. Today we're going to do it a little bit different in the fact that I already have a question planned out for you. This is still a collective reading, so if you are watching the show, whether you're watching on Side Street TV, whether you're watching on Locust Review, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on Omnia Sol art, wherever this show found you, this is your card. This is your fortune. The meaning of the card applies to you and your problems. So listen up, bucko, because it's time for card of the show. The question this week, to go along with the theme of the episode of changing channels, is what channels in your life need to be changed? So we're going to go ahead. So think of that question. Meditate on that question while I am shuffling the deck. We're going to go ahead and move into our first shuffle. I'm so glad that I was able to capture, I don't know what channel what this was on, but I'm so glad I was able to capture some Pokemon. Gotta catch them all, folks. And I caught this episode. Shuffle number 2. The decks did not want to be shuffled. I have a feeling that there is a card that really wants you all to see. Shuffle number 3. I have a feeling what card this is going to be. I don't know how accurate that's going to be. Let's see. Let's see what channels you need to change, folks. This is your card. This is your reading. Oh, not the card I was expecting. Interesting. So the card we got for card of the show this week is the King of Pentacles. Going to check real quick to make sure to see if we have ever gotten the King of Pentacles on this show before. Let's see. We have not. We've never gotten the King of Pentacles before. Frequent listeners. I don't think anyone except me keeps a record of which cards we pull. But I keep a record because I want to see when doubles show up, because that's something that you really, really need to see if a card keeps popping up over and over again. That, fortunately, that has not happened. It might have happened on one of the shows where I did like a 3-card reading, because I don't, right now I just have the 1-card reading saved in my phone in the notes. But anyways, the King of Pentacles, this is obviously a king, but he's holding a pentacle, he's holding a scepter, he is sitting on a throne with, he's got a flowery crown, a castle in the background. His wardrobe is completely covered in grapes. Reminds me of like a vineyard. His throne has a bull on each side of it, so there is this like very like Taurus energy to the card, I think, maybe, because it's not only on the back of the throne, the 2 on like above his head, but there's also just on the armrests of the throne there's 2. So it's got a lot of cow, a lot of bull energy going on in this card. A lot of growth, a lot of nature, a lot of plants. So I feel like, so Pentacles in general, we know is the Earth card. We know a lot has to do with both like money, finances, just your material life, as opposed to, I hate the dichotomy between material and spiritual, because obviously they're all connected, but it very much has to do with like your day-to-day, boots on the ground life, day in, day out, your slice of life, as opposed to like angels, devil, the sky, spirits, all these things that seem so like outside and foreign away from this. The Pentacles has to do with right here, right now on Earth, what's going on. And other than that, I get this card sometimes, but I honestly don't know much about it. So we're going to go ahead and go into the reading of the card. King of Pentacles, an industrious man, a banker, landowner, a married man, temperate, reliable, a scientist, or mathematician. Slow to anger and very patient, this card represents someone you can rely upon. He is loyal and trustworthy, a man who thinks before he acts. Successful with money, he is capable of amassing great wealth and power. As a worker, he perseveres when others fail. He is Mr. Practical, always ingenious and full of energy. But he may seem boring to others. This man loves to take things apart and repair broken items. Hence, he would make a great mechanic. If he works in government or finance, he is definitely someone to befriend. As a professor at university or college, he makes a great lecturer or teacher. If you are a woman and this card represents the man you marry, be warned, he will expect to control the purse strings. All right, so obviously the Rider-Waite-Smith definitions of the card, well, the cards in general, the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, are still kind of stuck in some, I don't know if backwards is the right word, but definitely regressive kind of understandings about sex and gender roles and everything. Because, like, first of all, he, not in a laughing sense, but like, why does the king always got to be a man? Secondly, the nature of just like, oh, like if this applies to a woman, it's about the man you marry. Like, come on. And I know it's not Pamela Coleman Smith's fault. She did the art. It's Waite who came up with the meanings, and Waite, you're fucking up, man. Come on, do a little better. But anyways, I think what we can take out of this card is to go along with the theme of the episode of changing channels and the question of what channels do you need to change in your life. There is someone out there, whether or not that person is you, whether or not that's a friend, a professor, a mentor, there is someone out there who is looking out for you, that you might have a question about your financial life. You might have a question about your professional life, maybe your spiritual life, but mainly more I'm thinking educational or professional, in the sense that this is the Pentacles card. It does have to do with materialism and your material well-being. They may want to control the purse strings. Just kidding. That's a little joke from the reading. But anyways, yeah, find this reliable person that you, and seek advice from someone reliable who seems to have their shit together. I feel like that might be the best way to change the channels in your life. Is obviously you shouldn't have idols. We shouldn't look up to I'm not saying we shouldn't have heroes. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, kill all your heroes. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is the opposite. What I'm saying is that find someone who seems to be living their best life and see what you can learn from them, what you can take away from them to live your best life. Look at the changes they have made in their life, and how can you emulate that and make those changes in your life, change those channels in your life to get the correct frequency, to be on the right channel, to be on the right path for your life, your best life, and to follow your dreams. So that has been your
Card of the show.
All right, we are going to go ahead and move to our next song of the show. This is another song from our featured artist, Nikki. The song is called White Girl featuring N Hell. So check it out, nikki.bandcamp.com. That's Nikki with 3 Y's at the end, .bandcamp.com. The album, Prom 2K13. Go buy it. Go show Nikki some support. And we will be back with you after the song. After that song and after that McDonald's ad, I have nothing to say other than I am loving it. The song was White Girl featuring N Hell by Nikki off of nikki.bandcamp.com. The album, Prom 2K13. Go check it out. I'm loving it. Think outside the bun. When you hear your family, go pick up Nikki's album. We are going to go ahead and move to the final segment of the show. It is the segment where I read from a book.
It's time for words. It's time for words. It's time for words.
Okay, for this week's segment of words, since I talked about changing channels and I compared that to Mary Kondo of decluttering your life, changing your life. I'm going to read a segment from, I don't know why I keep saying Mary Kondo. It's clearly Marie Kondo. Her name's right on the fucking book. And I know how to read. Obviously, if I have a segment called Words, where I read from a book, obviously, I know how to read. I should get her name correct. Marie Kondo. The book is Spark Joy, an illustrated master class on the art of organizing and tidying up. The segment is called A Joy-Filled Home is Like Your Own Personal Art Museum. So here we go. Having spent most of my life looking at things of every description, including those in my clients' homes, I have discovered three common elements involved in attraction: the actual beauty of the object, innate attraction, the amount of love that has been poured into it, acquired attraction, and the amount of history or significance it has occurred, experiential value. While I have very few interests other than tidying, I do love spending time in art museums. I enjoy looking at paintings and photographs too, but my favorite exhibits are of implements from daily life, such as dishes and urns. I believe that being appreciated by so many people refines and enhances such works of art and craft beyond their actual value. Sometimes I see a work in a museum that appears quite ordinary, yet has a compelling attraction. In most cases, I expect this magnetic pull results from having been cherished by its owners. I stumble across things with this same mysterious attraction in my clients' homes as well. N, for example, lived in an elegant house that had been her family's home for 4 generations, and it had a lot of dishes. The cabinet in the dining room and the dish cupboards in the kitchen were filled with them, and there were still more packed away in boxes in the storage room. When we had gathered them all up and placed them on the floor, they covered about 3 tatami mats, about 6 by 9 feet of floor space. By this time, was almost finished tidying the kimono miscellaneous category, and she was quite proficient at checking. For a while, all that could be heard was the clink of dishes as she picked them up and put them down again, and the murmur of her voice as she said, "This plate sparks joy. This cup doesn't." During this process, I usually keep my eyes on the objects in the client's hands while pondering how to organize the storage. Suddenly, however, my eye was caught by a single small plate in the joy corner. "That plate is very special, isn't it?" I said, and looked at me in surprise. "No, not particularly. To tell you the truth, I'd even forgotten that I had it. I don't particularly like the design either, but something about it seems to touch me. A bit chunky and plain gray with no ornamentation, it didn't seem out of place among the other dishes she had chosen, most of which had colorful patterns." It did seem out of place. Not that it didn't seem. It did seem. After the lesson, she sent me an email telling me that she had asked her mother about it. Apparently, N's grandfather had made the little plate for his wife, N's grandmother, who had treasured it to the end of her life. "It's so strange," N wrote. "Even though I had never heard that story, it still sparked joy." She went on to relate several episodes concerning the plate. "The next time I went to her house, it had been placed on the Buddhist altar to hold sweets, and the warmth it imparted to the space and its surroundings left a deep impression on me. I am convinced that things that have been loved and cherished acquire elegance and character. When we surround ourselves only with things that spark joy and shower them with love, we can transform our home into a space filled with precious artifacts, our very own art museum. So there you go, folks. Take Marie Kondo's words of advice and turn your home into your very own art museum. Anything you don't need anymore, change the channel on them. Get rid of it. Keep what sparks joy. Turn your house into an art museum, and let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. All right. I was going to only play 2 songs from the album, but I might play 3. I think I'm going to go ahead and play 3, and then we'll close out for the night. So that has been...
It's time for words, words, word. It's time for words, words, words. It's time for words, words, words. Words, words, words.
All right, so the next song that we are going to play off of Nicki's album, Prom 2K13, is titled GJWHF2. So I hope you enjoy it. I think you really will. This is one of my favorite songs on the album. I think my favorite song might be the Throw Your Hands Up in the Sky song with the emojis. But this, if that's my favorite song, this is my second favorite song. But this, I don't know, this might be my favorite song. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, and we'll be back with you after the song. All right, want to give a big shout out to Nikki for providing awesome music for the show. Go check out Nikki's album, Prom 2K13, nikki.bandcamp.com. Obviously, the link will be in the show notes. Everything else will be in the show notes. And we will see you next week. I know the past couple episodes have been later than anticipated. We're not going to make a habit of that. We are changing the channel on that. We got the studio set up. We're making shit happen. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/Omnia Sol Art, website omniasol.art, Side Street TV, link will be in the show notes. I'll go ahead and I'll throw the Locust review in the show notes too. So go check it out, like, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. See you next week.